Hello, welcome to the Lower Leagues Footy Show. I'm Alan, and I've joined. This is season two. Season two, the start of the season two for us. Dan's here, Mike's here. No Stephen tonight. He's got child issues, so he's not on tonight. But lads, how you doing?
Go on, Kingy.
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Yeah, good to be. This will be my first. Unlike my football career, this will be my first full season, won't it? So
Yeah.
I'm very much looking for. I'm very much. Oh, who's this?
Oh, there we go. This is
Who's
this is our number one fan. What's your name?
I'm Poppy.
You're Poppy. Nice to meet you, Poppy. You're a big fan. Are you our number one fan now, then?
Well,
You our biggest fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go. Right.
go.
Go
Good
chill.
girl.
You play football? Oh, she's gone. She'll know.
She's gone, mate.
Hold on, I've got one here.
Oh,
Come in quickly.
Oh, God.
She's gone.
Here we go. This is like a get to
I
know
don't want to
you.
come. This is
No,
your life.
I've told my lot not to disturb me or else.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, Kingy, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, a little break so far. It feels ages since played football, actually.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I've been really busy. Just I coach the kids for cricket at Stukely with my mate. Well, he's the coach, but I just sort of help him out. So my son's taken up cricket, which is I always play cricket, so I love. It's brilliant watching him play cricket. So I've been doing that. My daughter, who wouldn't come in, has just represented the south of England at dressage, and she's under. That's for the under 25s, and she's 13. So, and now she's on the track for Team GB. So, you know,
You could tell a man's wealth by when their daughter's involved in dressage.
well, listen, I come from the poorest of the poor.
Oh, he's
I do, honestly.
Self-made man.
The self-made man. Honestly, we didn't have a phone till we were 10 in my house. Honestly,
Oh, here we go.
Didn't
Yeah,
have a
because they
phone.
weren't bloody invented.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna say.
Well, when I say we had the ones you picked up when you were like that.
I was gonna say, is that landline? That's certainly not mobile. That's landline, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't have a landline. When I went to university, I was so poor. I couldn't afford the TV license, so I inherited a black and white portable made from about 1976, and that was my TV at university. And if I wanted to watch anything, I had to stand half out the window holding the aerial. Honestly, just outrageous. Try watching snooker on that. So yeah, been keeping busy. Been a few gigs, like me music. So Richard Ashcroft the other week, which was great, and then was at Edgbaston on Friday. And well, like I told you, a potential famous guest on the show. Did you see my message?
Yeah.
Did you not see it?
Yeah, I'll have to look back. I don't remember seeing the message. No, but we'll have a look back on that.
Yeah, have a look back on it. So potential celebrity for us.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, but yeah,
Awesome.
I'll pass over to Dan now. I'm just going to quaff my my red wine.
Nice.
Go on, Dan.
Sorry, Dan. My butler's got to come up. Hold on. He's got.
No, I'm all right, mate. Busy. I've enjoyed the summer. Stag do in Benidorm. What was amazing for 48 hours, and like hell on it. Like that place is a shithole. That is just. Imagine the TV series Shameless going on holiday. That is basically what it is.
Well, there was a TV series on called Benidorm, wasn't there?
Yeah, but even that looked a bit more glitz and glamour than what it is. Like it is dog rough. Like look, first 2 days, I think it's excitement, like loving life, and then after that, I was like, just get me home. And I had 2 days. I was just like, I want to go home. I was like looking at flights earlier, like just get me out this hellhole.
Really?
One of the lads said, and he couldn't have got it more right. He was like, I've not worked this hard in life to come to places like this. And it's just, yeah. So I had that. I've had a heavy weekend.
Who picked it then? Who picked the place?
No idea, mate. But like I heard stag do and was like, yes, going. This is, I love a stag do. I've been to some wonderful places on stag do's. But I realised why stag do's need to be like 48 hours, 3 days maximum, not 4 days in Benidorm.
How many nights were you there for, Ben?
Pardon?
How many nights were you there for?
I flew out Wednesday morning. I come back Sunday night. So
Yeah,
like,
it's a
yeah,
tour of
like,
duty,
oh, yeah.
that is.
yeah. And we went a day early, and you shouldn't have done. Should have
You were
just
all giddy, weren't you? Giddy going a
Yeah.
day early.
What didn't help is one of the lads 2 days in got robbed. His
Oh,
phone and
no.
wallet. So then we were staying in a hotel a bit further away. So then I have to bankroll him for 2 days because while he's got nothing, and he still went out on the piss every day and like would come back at 4 a.m. like lost. And oh mate, it was so stressful, because I'm like, what do I do? Do I leave him in the country? Like,
Yeah.
what do I do with him? Like, I can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
horrible. Just really, really. But yeah. But yeah, all good, mate. Other than that, like, I feel like I've been super busy, but it's because I try and cram everything into the summer. So then I go, well, when football starts again, like the wife said to me the other day, oh, I'm booking a week at Christmas in Centre Parks so the kids can be there for the lights. I was like, it's got to be Woburn. I was like, because I'm not missing a game on Saturday. She's already making me miss 2 games for bloody going to Greece. So, yeah. But no, all good, mate. All busy.
But we all know how much you love youth football. So yeah, it's going to
Missing
be
4 games, mate.
4 games. Yeah.
Well, potentially. I'm missing 2 pre-season friendlies for Greece. And annoyingly...
Is that the country or the musical production, Dan?
The country. I'm going to... Well, Rhodes. Rhodes is Greece, isn't it?
Yep.
And then when I'm back, I've got Carfest for 3 days. I'm working at Carfest. So I've got, on loads of panels and whatnot there. So I'm missing potentially the first game of the season for that one. And then also I'm away with a load of friends in Wales. So I'm missing 2 weeks. So I said to Ollie is hopefully what will want to happen is Shanger to win both games 1-0, but strikers can't hit a barn door. And then I can just come back in for game 3. That's the ideal scenario. Yeah. But
Your worst news, Dan, would be an auxiliary 49-year-old centre-back going up front.
Yes.
Running the channels.
There be no
well, that brings us neatly because it is now pre-season. So it's pre-season for you guys, and we don't have to talk about different clubs now because Kingy, you are signing up for Dean Tanger.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, he hasn't signed the paperwork yet, but yes.
No,
they've not given me it yet.
Sorry, I saw you last week for the first session with the lads. How did you find it?
Yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed it. It was. Do you know what? I'm just gonna shut this door. I was a little bit nervous, to be honest, because I didn't really. When you get to my age, I was a little bit conscious of. So I joined. I was like 46 when I joined Stukely, but I knew people there, and I was a bit conscious of turning up and thinking, because I look way older than all the lads. I was like, oh my God, are they just gonna? And then it gets in your head a little bit. So genuinely, I was a little bit like, I hope it's not, because I'm shit at any. I've got no attention span, as you probably can recognise, and I'm fucking shit at any drills we have to do. So Dan Jamo is making us do those memory drills.
Yeah, mate.
Me and Kettle are just looking at each other. I've headed too many footballs, haven't I was like, can't remember any of that. And then I was getting really nervous about if we have to do any intricate drills. Like, I just want to run and I want to play football. And I don't mind doing a few, throwing the ball up, chesting it and knocking it back. But when you have to do those intricate little drills, I was like, oh my God. But thankfully...
Because you're a defender, you're a centre-back, you're not necessarily really expected to do those sort of intricate moves and intricate drills. You're there to clear the ball, tackle, make a couple of tackles, head the ball away, and that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And when you do get the ball, you move it on to a midfielder, and then don't worry about it.
You are underestimating me a little bit there, Alan. I have a lovely left foot, Alan. But it was a little bit. But then I got there. But Dan, it feels like, because I was very conscious I only knew you, but you've got quite a big job at the, big role at the club.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of new players there, weren't there? So I just kind of like stretched off on the by the side of the pitch. But then once we got into it, I was fine. The only thing is, it's just, I really got into it when we went to the clubhouse afterwards.
Yeah.
Because you could sit down and have a chat. Which was nice, and I made a conscious effort of like chatting to people I didn't know. That's what I thought. I've got to make a conscious effort of chatting to people I didn't know. but I loved it. I just like finished the training session, and then we just sat down, didn't we, Dan? Loads of people sat down in the Shanger bar, having a beer, looking over at the pitch, and I was like, yeah, this. I came back and SJ, my wife, she was like, "What do you think?" I was like, because she could tell I was a bit nervous. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? All we're doing is playing for fucking Dienzanger, but I was. But that would not. But that is age, because that would not have happened when I was 29, 20 years ago. I'd have been super confident. But as you get older, you just think, are they going to think, who is this twat turning up? But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a very long way of me saying it, but I really, really enjoyed it. So
I'm sure Dan would have done. I'm sure Dan would have done a lot of groundwork prior to you coming, letting everybody know about this man Kingy and what he's like and that. So I'm sure some of them would have already had some sort of prior knowledge of you. But you said that there were some new players there. So Dan, when I spoke to you in the bar afterwards, I was talking to Jam as well, and you said there were quite a few new players and not a lot of the old squad that had showed up. Well, not showed up, but people are away, holidays and stuff like that. But there's quite a few new lads turn up.
Yeah, so we had really surprised. Do you know what? It's almost weird. Like on that, like we do what every club done. You put a post out on that North Bucks group. It's got like 1,000 people on it.
Yeah.
And no one ever likes or comments on your post, but they just message you privately. And I get it, because they're like, I don't really want to weigh out the options or whatever. So we probably had, I'd say 20 lads message us. And I would say about 12 of the 20 were like groups of people, like 3 or 4 players from a club saying, you know, we had, I don't want to stitch people up, but we had like 3.
From age concern, Dan.
Yeah, we had all teams in North Bucks. We had 3 like lads, and you're like, well, these are the dates. You can come down, give them a little bit of information, because I do think the pool of players is getting smaller, and you sort of wonder who is going to turn up. And yeah, it was an interesting one, because I think we had 28, I think, that were there, something like that, and I'd say 15 of them were new players from there. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of our lads are still away or got stuff on, whatever. So it's one of those where you do I expect all 15 new players to stay? No, because it just naturally won't. Like, I've already said to Jam and that, like, naturally, proof's in the pudding. First game on the 19th, whenever it is, the Saturday. They're the first pre-season friendlies. You'll start to get an idea. Because I would say of them, loads of lads who turns up, there was probably 6 or 7. I'd go, yeah, you'd make a difference. You do, or would improve the squads, you know.
Yeah.
But it's, do they stick around? Do they stay? And where like years ago, it used to be like you had so many players, you'd be like, yeah, who cares? Now you have to be a little bit like sell the club to people, because there's so much at our level as well. Bear in mind, everyone's paying to play, so it's not like you can offer someone a real nice package. So you've got to sort of rely on the setup. But like a couple of lads I can talk about, because their team no longer exists, is we had 4 lads from MK Wanderers come down. I knew one of them. Pardon?
They gone.
They're folded. Yeah, so they reached out. That was last minute. I was literally like the Sunday. We started training on Tuesday. Like I had one of them was coming, and then literally one lad messaged and was like, "Can 3 of us come along?" We're like, "Yeah, absolutely." And they're all good lads.
Have they got a ladies team?
I have no idea.
Because if they folded as well, give a bit of a shout out.
Your ladies team in, didn't you?
They're a really long-established team.
Yeah,
they've been playing for years.
I think they got taken over beginning of last season by a new manager, and basically now he's had enough and he's going away traveling. I think they said it was no one's fault. It's like anything. I always think when you're not big in terms of local, when you're not an established club with like they said, they're renting a pitch somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't have a bar. They don't have it's quite hard where like we've got a good setup. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got to provide the atmosphere for people to want to come and play and all of that lot, while also looking after your existing, because at the end of the day, they're the guys who are kept. So it's always interesting as pre-season. You get loads of people turn up, people get their backs up, whatever, like, oh, he looks good or he plays my position or whatever. You know, well, we'll talk about particular run Jam does, what is fucking brutal. But we done like 15-minute game at the end. I was like, my legs were spasming. I was like, there's nothing I can do in this game. And there's these young lads trying to impress and run around. I'm like, you ain't got a fucking clue, mate. You ain't like, and I just kept shouting at Kingy, get it forward, love it, get it up here. But yeah, it was it's a good start. So we'll see. We're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. What I'm a little bit reluctant of at our level because I think like we've done really well on Tuesday, getting loads of people. The Thursday was a lot lighter, but I think it's just because people have got lives and things like that, and this. We're not going to train twice a week, so I'll be interested tomorrow. I'm not there annoyingly tomorrow, but I'm about on Thursday. We've got a committee meeting, so we'll see what happens there. But no, we're all. It's a good start. I just hate pre-season.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that does like pre-season, to be honest. Really, was Jan putting on a lot of running because
yeah,
if you were last off, Dan, when I was there talking to the girls, you were last off, and you did look a bit tired.
I hated that he does a stupid drill. It's not stupid. It's actually a very good one. And I said to the lads, I was like, don't put me at the back of this one because that's you need your quick guys to then power through. But he does this thing. You get in split us in half. So I think there was 14 of us, whatever it was in a team. And then you go across the pitch. So the first man goes across and back. And then the second person joins him across and back. And the third joins him across and back. And once you get to the last player, once that last player joins it for the first time, the first person does a sprint there and back and finishes. So he calls it the bus. So everyone's getting on the bus and then getting off the bus as well. But you've got to be tactical because you can't go too quick. Oh, you have to stay in the line as well. You can't break up. So you've got to set what's really hard to keep a pace going. And fucking Kingy just goes off like a fucking racehorse.
I thought you said park the bus, Dan.
Like that, I'll tell you, it annoyed me how fit he was. Because I'm like, you're 12 years older than me, you fucker. Like, stop this. But yeah, it was
marathon runner. That's all it is.
Typical. But
I was at Kingy. We went in the bar. Kingy said to me, I've already done like a half a marathon or something this morning.
I did a 6 miler in the morning. Yeah.
That ain't my game. Like literally.
No.
Yeah, but Dan, I was playing when we were doing those. Well, the thing is, you try to make an impression, Alan, first door, and then you're doing back to front. So I'm with Kettle, who I know. Played football against him for a lot, and I'm very, very hard at my age, but I'm definitely hard of hearing. So I was like at the back, and I was the ear that I'm definitely hard of hearing from was the wrong side, so I couldn't hear really many of the calls. But then I just heard back to front like that. So I've just gone, but I've gone in front of the people who are behind me, and they've just run into the back of me, and it was hugely. And that was my first moment of training at Deanshanger. And it was that new guy who was quite. I think is he from Toaster? Nice lad. The one I boot in the game.
Good player, really good player. He could be a gem. We found him. No idea where he's come from.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, mate, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, oh, my God, this is... But it was the sprints. I've realised, like, I was always middle of the pack in the sprints. But me and Dan, we were at the back of them sprints, weren't we? But...
Hey, my sprints are 2-3 yards, not 100 metres.
I
ain't sprinting 100 metres, mate. I'll have no hamstring left. It ain't happening.
The running I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the running. And hopefully, I think because that's a big thing for me, if you can show people that you're still fit, because everyone will think, oh, their legs are gone, their legs are gone, their legs are gone. But I'm saying it right now, I'd back in a long distance run, we're talking like anything over 5K for me, not being a dick, but it's not long distance. But if I was to do a 5K run, I'd win that from what I've seen there. I'd win the 5K run. And that's a big thing about being able to keep going, isn't it? But you've got to keep fit. And I was never fit when I was playing, really. It was only sort of when I initially gave up that I got fit. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. Some funny old things though, weren't it, Dan? With like the memory games and stuff like that I kept
he's really into that. Well, I sort of like I
get it. I like it.
With Jammies, he's really inspiring to be a good coach. He's doing his level 2 as we speak. He's got one more session left and he's done. And then he's already like, how do I... He wants to develop himself and he's very open about it as well, what I quite like. So like, he does try stuff, what some people go, well, it ain't football, but it's almost just trying to keep your mind sharp and on it. And it was quite good and quite different. And if you can see a few of the new lads were like, huh? But then at the end of it, they were like, "Oh, okay, right, yeah, I get where he's going." Where I think some of us are used, he was doing it last season, so like we went through the period of going, "This is a bit odd." Now we get it. The new lads took it on quite nicely, and yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was really, really good. And I was like, I could use a few of the things. I was like, I'd do that. Like when I coach the kids, it's quite a good idea, just to give them different things to think about. I thought it was really good. The fact that he obviously plans it out, he thinks about it, doesn't he? And it's
oh yeah, it's all very meticulously planned. Every session is what again at our level is rare to see. Most people turn up and there's 2 goals going out 5-a-side. What has some value to it? Don't get me wrong. But yeah, we're a bit like have a bit of fun, like try and do something a bit structured. It's more my thing is if I'm paying a lot, not me, the club's paying a lot of money a year to train, particularly when we go to the school in the winter. Let's not turn up and play 5-a-side. It's like a really, really expensive game of 5-a-side. Let's try and do it. And he's also, he's gone.
I was just saying it was interesting though because I think until about I don't know, probably about 2004 when I was playing football, we would literally turn up and not do any organised before a game. We'd never be in any organised warm up. It was maybe boot the ball at the goalkeeper for a bit, but I'd never ever go out. I'd never warm up. Just wouldn't. I'd just go out, maybe kick a couple of balls, then walk back in, just to carry on the laughter in the changing room. Do you know what I mean? It was a good laugh, but now it's like before the game, it's like everything and training sessions. Honestly, it was never like that. There was never structure. It largely was right, lads. Here's a ball. You're going to run your ass off for the first half an hour, then you'll play football for half an hour, and that's it. So it's good. It's really good. It's refreshing, and fair play to Jamo because I thought, do you know what? I've really enjoyed that, and I've done some things differently.
You've obviously played under Jam for the last couple of years now from reserves in the first team last season. Have you noticed that difference with him when it comes to training and games as those last couple of years have gone on?
Yeah, I think when I first turned up, Jam was a reserve manager and he didn't do training. Jam worked away a lot. So it was a previous guy who did training. Well, bear in mind, let's say the other guy's an absolute legend, amazing coach. But Shang was just at the point where it was no one was really going to training and it was 5-a-side on a Tuesday. That was basically what it was. So there's nothing to do with the other guy's ability. The other guy's an incredible coach. I think he's level 2 as well. Really good. But it just lost, and I don't blame him. It just got really hard for him to do. So when Jam became manager last year, that was the first thing he said was, I want training to be worthwhile. I want people to want to come to training. So we had a political thing inside the club. Everyone was like, oh, now he's making you come to training. No, it was more, you've got to make an effort to come to training because I am going to pick a team. I'm going to be working on stuff that I want you to do on a Saturday. You've got to make an effort. So I think last year, most weeks we had 20 plus to train him throughout the season. What was great, means he could, and there was weeks where it was too many people because we only get a third of a pitch. It's 11-a-side pitch, and we get a third of it. So that was a bit like some weeks we had like 30 lads. It was like, it's just too many. And bear in mind, we also, we pay for a goalkeeper coach to come in every other week for training. So he would take the keepers off and a full-size goal. So again, he's still taking up a bit of space. It become even smaller. So no, like credit to him. He'd put his hands up straight away and say he's still developing that side of it. But I just love that he wants to make the effort and he's keen to put on good sessions and the lads seem to like it. So yeah, what's difficult at our level because it's hard to get the commitment of people to go and do it.
It's getting that buy-in. That's getting that early buy-in, and that's where doing the little talk about and then inviting people. The benefit of having that clubhouse, mate, getting people back there.
Last season we never had that. I was super impressed with how many of the new lads stuck around. First session when you don't know anyone. Me, that was a box ticks in terms of their character. Is I get it, like a bit like you working. You knew a couple of us, but there was the lad from Toaster, 2 or 3 others who were on their own coming who didn't know us. They've had to exchange a couple of texts, all stayed to have a beer or a drink, and they got involved and had a chat. I think what really helped was half of the people were new, so I think people cottoned on really on. There's a lot of new people here. I'm not one or two. It's funny though, the little conversations we were doing. We're doing the warm up run round. A couple of them who sort of knew who I was, come over and done the normal, right, so who out of your lot's first team, who's reserves? Because they're trying to gauge on who's who, what's the levels, and it all starts, and I was just like, well, yeah, explained it. Most people look at me and go, there's no way he plays first team. And I'm like, well, they had no one else. So the belly had to play. Yeah, I
Were
just
they
want the
asking
game
you
to
if I
start
was?
now.
Were they asking you if I was still alive?
They were like, is he the manager's dad? Just comes along to keep
Manager's dad. Manager's dad.
No, he ain't lost a header since '78. He's it.
I only get that on a t-shirt, my training top. Manager's dad.
Oh, yeah. But no, I just want the games to start now. I'm dying to get. First one's on is it 19th? I'm now looking at my diary. Whatever the Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say when's the first friendly and who have you got?
So we're away for 19th Saturday night. Kingy, you best be available. So we've got a double header. We are. Oh, he's frantically writing it down.
Yeah, I'm just about to get my quill.
So Saturday 19th, we've got a double header away to Bletchley Scott. So the reserves are playing their reserves, their first team first. So reserves play at 12. I'm quite looking forward to this because all the Resi games, because we're a lot of double headers, are all like earlier kickoffs. So I can go play and then stick around and have a beer and watch the first team.
What time's that? What time's that then?
That's Resi's will be a 12 o'clock kickoff. So it'll be
you know what? This is poetry. Do you know why? Because each year I do the early shift at Stukely Wreckfest, the most middle class of Wreckfests you can ever imagine. And I run the outside bar, which I like to call the Verve Cleek Lounge, where we serve gin, prosecco, and I run the bar. And I'm not on shift there until I want to say 3 o'clock. Perfect. So I'll be done and dusted I'll be back in Stukers by 2.
Yeah, well about it, yeah. So,
Well, it just means I can't stay for a beer. But
that's
shall I invite everyone over to the Wreckfest after?
But the following week, Kingy's going home.
Oh, is it Stukely?
Yeah. We're playing Stukely the following week. Again, double header. Tough.
Because going back to his old roots, his old club.
I'm just writing that down. So I'll get all the ultras from Stukely up. Oh, that's on the 26th. This is brilliant. I love this.
Yeah. So again, I think it's 12 and 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. Max wanted to play his first at 3. So that's a bit so Bletchley's a nice, easy one. A nicer, like more matched teams are quite matched in where Stukely will be hard. Probably more so for the first team playing the winners of the Prem, but it's second game and it's about blowing the cobwebs off. So and same with the Resis. We're going there knowing we're playing a good Stukely Resis who have just been promoted. So again, it's minutes in the tank, and then.
Dan, would you like luncheon at my house before the game starts?
Why not? We can.
Do you have luncheon?
Luncheon. There'll be an early luncheon though.
We can have luncheon in the East Wing, and then we could all bathe back at my house afterwards.
This guy, I tell you.
I tell you what, the clubhouse will be open though, Dan.
Yeah.
So
we'll have a couple. I'll try and see what weekend it is for my wife to work. I was wondering if I could
get on the 26th, then we can
pay for a few beers.
Yeah. Are you around on the 26th, Alan?
I love it. We're in the middle of a podcast and we're organising diaries.
Organising our diaries already, yeah, possibly.
It's about on the 26th. We're going to Strictly.
Depends on what Farnborough are doing.
Jesus Christ.
26. I could be. They're away at Nap Hill, so I could make that one. I could make that.
Yeah, come over and we can all have a beer afterwards. Maybe go
definitely.
for the Lower Leagues podcast initial drink.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stephen.
Yeah, sorry,
what's next on the agenda, Alan?
Anyway, yeah. So next we've got some news, haven't we? We've got some news. We can't say, not that I can remember who it is anyway, but we can't say who this player is. But we are sponsoring a player for this season as a podcast.
No, we own.
No, sorry.
Carlos.
We're owning.
We own him.
We own him.
Well, I'm looking at his. We've all paid an amount of money to be his sponsor, but really we know that's like 2006 West Ham Carlos Tevez type stuff.
Will he come and play for Shanghai?
No,
not a chance.
That's the whole point. So we won't say who it is yet, purely because the team are going to announce it on social media. Like they're like all step 4, 5. 3 clubs are doing like one player at a time, retained or whatever. So all we say is it is a retained player at step 5.
They are step
Yeah.
5. Yeah. Can we name?
Yeah.
Can we say the club, or we're not allowed to say the club?
No, keep it a little bit of mystery in it.
Okay.
People are going to guess, really. Local to us, step 5 club. I'll give you a little bit about him because he was in Benidorm with me. I don't know him too well, but he's a lad.
Good drinker.
Yeah.
Good drinker.
He can polish off a few beers and Guinnesses and bottles of vodka, so he's a good lad in that way. But no, played at Wembley twice.
There you go.
So
Yeah, that's a little clue.
got a pedigree, shall we say?
Yeah.
Loves a service station.
Pardon?
Loves a service station.
So with the podcast are sponsoring a player. If they let us sponsor 2 players, there was another player there we were quite keen to sponsor as well, weren't there, Alan? But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We can't do 2. One's enough.
One.
I'm
we really broke the bank.
I'm going to sponsor Dan this year. I think I've decided that I'm going to sponsor Dan. So
Right. This is a good point, right? So how do you all feel about clubs at our level doing the sponsorship, right? Because I saw the other day a team who sort of I follow, and one of my mates went over and played for them, Higham. And they play the equivalent of us, so like that bottom level. And they do player sponsorship. And I'm like, is that a bit much?
The good points of it is if you set it at like say 50 quid, then that money goes towards the players getting their could go towards their tracksuits, could help pay for bits of kit or anything or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So anything that requires the players to pay for stuff, like I said, like tracksuits, then yeah, I think it's a good thing. But it just all it does is just gets those players a bit of notoriety and that club a bit of kudos. But yeah, I get what you're saying. The lower you go, it does seem a little bit silly. But
it's sort of like the only reason I say it is I think so we've sponsored a player, right? So don't get me wrong, we've not paid a lot of money to have to do this, but like we'll go, we will arrange it. We'll go along. We'll do the photo with him at the ground at some point. But like every time he features in a program, whatever, we get a little mention, right? Yeah. And it isn't going to gain us massive amounts of traction. But for us, we like non-league football. It's a local team to us. It's a team we all know a bit about. So it seemed like the right thing to do. But I think at our level, like who does match day programs? Like what benefit? If anything, it's more of a commitment because then you're like, well, I have to now. It's hard enough doing it for kit sponsors.
Dan, you say about match day programs, but when Bo Brickhill played in the North Bucks Prem, they used to do a match day program, and it used to make me piss myself because you'd walk in the change room, the program. So when I played a few games for like Winslow, there were obviously there were programs, but at Bo Brickhill, you used to walk in and there would be programs laid down on your seat, and it would say. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and children. Welcome to Rushmere Close. And there was about 7 people watching. And I just thought, why on earth is someone spending all their time creating this match day program? It's a bit, it's a little bit odd.
I get it. With clubs like Dean Tanger and the people in clubs like the North Bucks, it is a bit silly doing things like programs and player sponsorship, but the idea of the player sponsorship is just to sort of get a bit of extra money into the club for the players, and that, like I said, that will pay for certain things that the player might need throughout the season. And also is for whoever is sponsoring, whether it be a podcast like us or a company, it sort of gets their business or their profile out into that sort of world. But for you guys, it's not really beneficial to anybody really because no one's really going to notice. But the club we're doing is step 5. I mean, so they're of a level where they get quite a lot of people coming to the games. They do programs, so they have many sponsors that they have to cater for, and that's what the program is there for, as well as boards around the ground. So
we always have we have our rule of because tracksuits was something we got a couple of seasons ago. So now when a new player joins our club, their first year's signing on fee buys their tracksuit, basically. So we don't really make any money from that player. He pays 60 quid and we get him a tracksuit with his initials on it. They normally then get it in like, you order it and it comes in like October, November, but then that player's got it. Then next year, they still pay the £60 signing on fee, but effectively that's then going into the club to pay for everything that comes with it. And so I get it when people say, it's to buy new bags and things like that. But part of me is going, rather than having 18 different sponsors, surely it's a bit harder to promote one sponsor who's giving you 600 quid rather than.
Yeah.
So, but they're wrong. I can imagine it's probably not too hard to go. I've seen the same club. I don't know if it is a business, but the same club we're sponsoring a player. Literally, they done a retained one, and it was like sponsored by Dean Smith. So I guess it's just the person's gone. Done it rather than a business. But yeah.
And so there are some Step 7 clubs that do that have done player sponsorships in the past. I know we spoke about it before when we had the radio show 61 FC. They used to do it as well. They did player sponsors, and they would only just sort of put it on their Twitter posts and that. Such and such. Whenever they did score a goal, such and such scored a goal sponsored by whoever. But yeah, so if you haven't got a program, there's not really much point, really, is there?
So I'm looking forward. I'm going to spend £60 on my tracksuit to have manager's dad written on it. Dan, is that
right back across the back?
I'm all over that. Then I'm going to sponsor you. There will be a couple of prerequisites for my sponsorship, though, Dan. You must sit next to me in the changing room.
That's fine. I can put you in Dan's corner. That's fine.
Yeah, put me in Dan's corner. Just to bookend it, you'll also have to shower with me at the end of each game.
That's fine.
Obviously, under the one shower head.
Yeah.
We don't want to get greedy, do we? We don't want to get greedy.
I mean, we have like 8 showers at Dean's Angle. Only 2 of them work. So we'll be pretty close anyway.
We will.
Are we writing this down? Shall I be writing this down? Go up a contract.
We're only going to use freshman shower gel. Dan,
what?
I'll supply it up to Christmas. Freshman shower gel. You know the really zesty green shower gel.
No, I'm very particular with my shower gel.
Okay. What are you going for?
Old Spice Captain.
Oh, here we go. Look,
oh my God.
That's what you call me, isn't it? Old Spice Captain.
It is the GOAT. And I then have Old Spice Captain deodorant.
All right, I'm going to buy that.
There's a story behind this, right? So when I said to people, beginning of the season, they were like, who's got deodorant? Someone was like, fucking Old Spice. And I'm like, you fucking smell it and tell me that does not
go on that.
Smell like ecstasy in heaven. It is unbelievable.
When I was going to the dances back in the day, it was like catnip.
Don't knock it. Right, I'll tell you now. So I buy litre bottles of it at a time, like I have in my shower. Then I have smaller ones for football. And deodorants, I buy a 24 pack at a time. So you just literally turn up, oh, mate, this stuff is beautiful.
And then the final thing is, at least once a month, Dan, we just park our cars at Shanger Club, and then we end up where we end up.
Yeah, but you do realise I already live a fucking mile away.
So do I, Dan. I might buy a small property in Shanger.
Of course he does. He's going to buy a flat just to stay there.
It'll be like, Barcelona have got La Mestalla. We'll have La Shanger. Oh. And we've got...
My missus goes, where's the savings gone? Well, me and Kingy have brought a little 2-bedroom flat in the Shanger. It's an investment.
It's an investment. And we got a coffee, we got the coffee shop there. So,
Yeah, so you all have to get involved in this. We normally do a breakfast on a Saturday. Oh, yeah, but you coach your kids in the morning.
Yeah.
We meet quite early and have breakfast. Was quite nice.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
Yeah, and we go. We either the club is, you want to put money into the club, but their breakfast is not as good as the coffee shop next door. I must say.
Do they do breakfast at the club?
See, because
we do like bacon rolls and things like that on a Saturday morning. So when the kids are playing, parents can get. Yeah, it's good. And then after the game, we're still quite traditional, so they'll put food on after the game. So it's good. It's all good, to be fair.
Shanger till I die.
Yeah.
Which isn't too many years away, lads.
How did we go? I'll tell you one thing, right? These come today. No,
he's got new boots. I bet he's got boots.
Got new boots, hasn't he?
Ooh, yeah. That was my question. I had a question to ask everyone. Well, everyone. I mean, you two.
Look at these, mate.
There they are.
Black. I've got a
Yeah.
little personalisation on there.
Oh,
Before anyone asks, they are the elite.
Is
They're
that-
not the fucking pro or the shitty ones. They are top tier.
do you go pro direct for him, Dan?
Yeah, always pro direct, mate.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, Dan. I'm assuming that's your kids' initials, yeah.
Yeah, Poppy and Jackson.
Yeah,
Do
beautiful.
you know what it was? It's the first ever complete black a pair of boots I've ever had. And I was like, no, it needs a level of colour on it because they're blackout.
Yeah.
So at least P&J's in white. So that was a...
And how much extra did you pay for that?
Oh, that was like £5. Funny story
Not too
with it, though, right? So all of that, there's a running joke at Shanghai, right? Loads of the lads fucking love Klarna, right? They're obsessed
Oh, yeah.
with Klarna. They're like, it's free for like a month of time, right? And there's a running joke, like there's one of the lads. Bear in mind, this guy's minted. He's like $1,000 a month on Klarna because everything's Klarna, everything, right? So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna buy my boots on Klarna. An hour after setting it up, I got scared and paid it off. It just freaked me out. I was like, I owe someone money and I don't like it. So my missus was like, what the fuck? She goes, you filled out the form, you've done everything. She's like, and I was like, yeah. She's like, but it's 50. I think it worked out like 60 quid or whatever. 3 payments of 60 quid or whatever it was. And she's like, you're an idiot. And I was like, I know, but I got scared that like I could like lose my job tomorrow and get robbed of all my money, and then Klarna are going to come after me. So I was like, oh, no, I'll pay it off. So I had Klarna for an hour and a half.
The Klarna prison. Well, Dan, I was very much doing the same thing earlier on. So I'm very much, I only ever wear Adidas, right? So majority of my career has always been Copa Mundials or Adidas World Cup.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Much to everyone's chagrin, over the last couple of years, I've actually because I got size 14 feet, I actually bought one of those Copper Gloros, are they called, the other year? But they're white, Dan. I've got white boots, but I'm going to go back and reverting back. So the big question was, do I wear?
What you need to buy?
Go on, him.
That Italian brand that always looks like 1920s boots, that Portologo logo.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
It's
I can't veer away from.
But they look as old as you.
I look tremendous for my age. Did you see the old Did you see the old net curtains twitching in Shanghai when the old Silver Fox turned up on the training pitch? They were all having a little goosey, Dan. I'm going to bring some middle-aged money to this clubhouse. I'll tell you that. There's going to be. I'm going to be.
That from these are Kingers groupies.
Yeah,
Kingies groupies.
Kingies milfs. Gilfs.
And on that note,
yeah, so I'm going to buy me new boots and I'm going to unveil them next week. I think I'm going old school again. But
you should go.
Are you going white?
No, I can't go white. I'm not good enough to wear white boots. I realise that.
Yeah,
I'll go with black.
Make me one promise this season because I want it the old school Kingy. Get there, mate. You got your Vaseline on your eyebrow. That's the only Kingy I only remember. Vaseline on his eyebrows so the sweat don't go in his eyes, and just head everything. Absolutely everything.
And now I've got to get a bit of Vic because we've got the old broken conch, a little bit of Vicks up the nose to pad it out, which is going to be wonderful.
Yeah, one thing he's got to work out as well is we don't have socks at Shanghai, we have sleeves, so he's got to work out sleeves and all that lot.
What, put them up there?
No, you fucking idiot.
I'm joking. Dan, come on, I've got a master's. I'm an educated man. I do know. I've got my grip socks, Dan. I've got my grip socks.
You're not one of them dickheads who puts normal socks on, then grip socks over top.
No, I will have grip socks. But do I go blue or white? What's the feeling?
Oh, mate, it's got. No, yeah, I'll go white. But you do what you want to do.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I will.
I've already started the monthly delivery of tape. That's turned up today as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm still a bit of bandage around the top of the socks, man. Me, you know, when you have the little strips of bandage, rather than the tape, just out the top of the socks. Football is all about the meticulous way you get ready, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Don't wear shin pads in a warm up. Never ever wear shin pads in a warm up.
I'm totally with you, Dan. Totally with you. Can't do it. Yeah. Can't wear anything underneath my top.
Oh, controversial.
No. I always wear cycling shorts. Can't play. I
Yeah,
have to wear
wear cycling shorts. And even Alan's seen mine. I've got a great big hole in the side, but I can't get rid of them. They're classics.
Yeah,
They are.
the middle-aged gilfs are going to sponsor my cycling shorts this year, apparently.
Anyway,
Anyway,
you should probably wrap up.
yeah, let's wrap this up. It's been great chatting tonight, guys. Hopefully, pre-season goes well for you guys. I'll get down to a couple of games. I'll definitely try and come down for the Strictly doubleheader. Yeah, we'll see you all. Well, I'll see you guys. Well, not you, Dan, but you there tomorrow, Mike? Tuesday.
Yeah, plan to be work permitting. I plan to be. There's sometimes a little chance I can't make things, but I'll let people know. Yeah. Brilliant.
All right, cool.
Well, it's really good to chat to you both.
Yeah,
as always.
Nice chatting to you guys. We'll be back soon with another episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to everything that we do, and keep following, keep commenting, and we'll see you all soon.
See you soon.